changed the world. Okay, that means we have seen or we have discussed about some of the women who have struggled to learn to read and write. Okay, and we have seen that Rajsundari Devi, she was from a rich family, but still she was not educated. Okay, at that time people believe that if any woman, if she learned to read and write, it will bring bad luck to the family, her husband will die. So that most of the women during that time, they were not ready to learn to read and write. Okay, but in spite of all these problems and hardships, she was able to manage her education well. She studied with her son. Okay, when her elder son, when he was started his schooling, she hide a page from his book, alphabets book, and also she took a page from a religious manuscript, Chaitanya Bhagavat. Okay, and she studied it in secret. And at the age of 60, she has written her autobiography. A name? What was the title of the autobiography?
Amar
Amar Jiban. Okay, Amar Jiban was the title of the autobiography written by Rajsundari Devi. Okay. Then also we have seen about Ramabai. She also was, she never attended the school, but she learned Sanskrit and she was awarded the title Pandita, isn't it?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
it was a remarkable
Because she was
achievement of
able to
during that time.
read and write
Right, Sanskrit.
Sanskrit.
Okay. And also Rokeya. Rokeya, she also was from a rich family, but she was restricted to learn English, isn't it?
Ma'am, you didn't take.
Haven't discussed about it?
No,
Ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, so children, another lady who worked for the women's education or who just tried to improve women's condition, that is Rokeya Sakhawat Hussain. Yes. Rokeya Sakhawat Hussain. And you know, children, she also was a rich family and she learned to read and write Urdu. Okay, but at that time, women, okay, they were not allowed to read, learn English
Ma'am, she
because
was restricted to learn both Bangla and English.
oh, yes. Okay. And you know, children, what was the belief during that time, you know, children? If a girl or a woman, if she learn English, it would expose new ideas or new world to them that will not be good for them. Okay. So that was the belief about a woman if she learned to read and write English. Okay. But she learned English and Urdu from her brother, okay, from her elder brother and sister, and she has written a novel titled Sultana's Dream. Mark it down, children.
Ma'am, where, ma'am? In this book?
It's in page number 60 and a green column it is given about Rokeya Sakhawat Hussain. Okay, so you know, children, she could she learned to read and write Urdu, but she was restricted to learn Bangla and English. Okay, and she had a keen desire to learn English, and she studied it from her elder brother and sister. After then, okay, she has written a novel that is called Sultana's Dream in the year 1905. And you know, children, in this novel, the theme of this novel was that a girl, okay, there is a place, okay, imaginary place called Ladyland. Okay, Ladyland, where women had all freedom. Okay, that means they can study, they can work. Yes. Okay. Yes. To practice her English skill, she's written this story titled Sultana's Dream in the year 1905. And you know, children, in this novel, she imagined a world called Lady Land, where women had all freedom. Okay, all the freedom. They can study, they can work, even they can drive cars. Okay. Yeah, the same. Okay. Yes. So where women had all freedom of their life, that all, or else where boys or men's are whatever they were doing, this all seemed that can be done for a woman. So even they can find inventions. Okay, even they can find the invention, and also there in that land, you know, children, men's were sent to a seclusion. What do you mean by seclusion? You know, children.
Ma'am,
They were
ma'am,
separated. Okay, they were separated, and their physical power is being defeated by the brain power of woman. Okay, so that was the theme of the story that was titled Sultana's Dream. Okay, in this novel, you know, children, she imagined a world where women had all the freedom. Even they can study, they can work, they can find inventions, and also even they can drive motor cars as well. Okay, so she imagined a world, you know, children, she imagined all these things. Even that time, girls even not allowed even to visit the school, right? Okay, at that time, she imagined a world where women can do everything. Okay, so this is important, children. The title of the novel written by Rokeya Sakhawat Hossain. The title of the novel was Sultana's Dream.
Sultan of
Yes. In the the theme or the story is about a woman or a lady called Sultana, and she was traveling in this lady land where women had all freedom. Okay. Then in the year 1910, that also you just mark, children, she set up a school for girls at Calcutta, only for girls. Okay, she started a school only to educate the girls at Calcutta. Underline. So she helped other girls to go school and to build their own dreams. And in the year 1910, she started a school for girls in Calcutta. And to this day, the school is still functioning. Okay, so children, just like Rajsundri Devi and Ramabai, okay, Rokeya Sakahat Hussain, she was at her time she was restricted to learn English because they thought that the people thought that it would expose new ideas that may not be good for them. Okay, so they were restricted to learn English, and she studied it from her brother and sister, and then she has written a novel to practice her English skill. She has written a novel called Sultana's Dream. Okay, in that novel, she imagined a world where all women are getting enough freedom to do everything. They can work, they can study, they can even fly cars. Okay, that all things. And she set up a school for girls to promote or to motivate girls to be educated. She set up a school for girls in the year 1910 and Calcutta. Okay, children. So now, children, at the present century, we cannot. Okay, you know, children. Today, almost all girls are attending the school. Okay, and nobody, no parents. I don't think any parents they are restricting their girls' child or boys. They were not discriminating the boys and girls. Almost all girls are attending the school, isn't it, children? Some places, yeah, it is happening, but schooling, I think women they have struggled a lot before, but not now. I think most of the parents they are ready to send their kids to school. And we cannot imagine, isn't it, children? We cannot imagine a world without school, isn't it? At this pandemic situation, even this situation, you know, children, when there was a situation that schooling, it is difficult for you kids, then we have find out another solution, isn't it? So that means that schooling, it become an essential part of our life. We can't imagine a world without school. Even boys and girls, okay, they were visiting the school and they were engaging in most of the work. But still, you know, children, we were in say before that it was not the situation. Before, after, when they complete their primary or secondary education, they will sit home, the girls, okay, almost all the girls, they will sit home and they will do what the work of their elders did, like pottery, weaving, tailoring, cooking, okay, or they will take care of their siblings. But today the situation is changed almost, but still when we were taking means accounts or data regarding a census. Have you heard about census, children? Census?
No.
See, children, it is an official survey. Okay, census, it is an official survey from the part of the government. Some of the government officers, they will visit our home and they will collect all the details about our family. That means the total member of our family, their age, their education, then schooling, means their education, their job, their caste, isn't it? Have you noticed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So please note it down, children. That is what we call census. So there is a time limit every 10 years. Okay, every 10 years, census will be held in our country to count the whole population of the country. Okay, that means many government officials, they will visit our home and they will count or they will collect information about the family members, their schooling, their job, their age, their caste. Okay, every details they will collect, and that is what we call a census, to count the whole population of the country. It is an official survey done by the government to count the population of the country. Yeah, you know, children, not about overpopulation. Here, you know, within this 10 years, sometimes newborn babies will be there. Okay, and some members of the family, they have been dead. Okay, so every 10 years after, a new census will be taken. Okay, so here, to count the number of the people of that country or of that particular area, the government will conduct census every 10 years. Okay, every 10 years it will be held, and it collects detailed information about the people living in India, the total number of members in the family, their age, their education, their job, their caste, everything. They will collect detailed information. And yes, that means every 10 years later, it is being conducted by the government. And you know, children, from this census, we could understand that a large number of children from SC, ST families. Have you heard about SC and ST?
Yes, ma'am.
Scheduled caste and
Ma'am, SC means Dalit and ST means...
yes. SC means scheduled caste. That is Dalit family. ST means a scheduled tribe. That is Adivasis, tribal people.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So from this census, that the government is collecting information about the number of the people, about about the number of the people, their education, their qualification, I mean their job as well. And from this census, we were getting information, okay, that a large number of women, especially from the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, And also from some Muslim communities, they were dropping out or they were leaving their school at their very young age. Okay, when we compare with the communities, the children from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, that is Dalit and the tribal families, and also some of the Muslim communities, many children from these families, they were leaving their school. They were less likely to remain in school. They were leaving their school at the young age. After when they complete their primary, elementary or secondary education, they will leave from the school. They won't go for a further education as well. They will stop their education. Yeah, during that time it is okay. During the ancient time, child marriage was existed, but this century, when we come to 19th 20th century, it was not there. That practice was stopped even after our independence. Okay, so you know, children, so when we count the information, we could see that many of the Dalit, Adivasi and Muslim girls, they were leaving from the school at their young age. Okay, so we will discuss what are the reason for the dropping out of children from these special communities. Okay, see children, the first and foremost reason that in rural and poor areas, mostly in villages, as you said, you know, children, mostly in villages, there will be no proper school, neither teachers, okay, neither good or proper teachers to teach them on a regular basis. Okay, see children, you can, when you think about it, you will get to know about it. Is my video, it's not working?
No.
Then just think about your locality. Sometimes there may be just about, I'm talking about the government school. Sometimes in a village, you know, there may be school till 4th standard or 5th standard or 6th standard, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
primary schools.
No nearby schools that they can children from the poor families. Okay, nearby their home, which school is there? If it is till 5th standard, they will continue to study till they complete their 5th standard. After then, what they will do? They won't be sending to any other school, far away schools, because their parents are not ready to send their girls to far off places, isn't it?
Yes,
sometimes even sometimes the school may be there, but still what is happening, you know, children, there may not be good teachers or nor even good schools even to teach them in a regular basis.
Ma'am, and they sometimes they can't like they can't bear the fees of
Fees, okay, but in most of the government school, that also we have learned before, right? Most of the government school, they were providing the means it is free for them, okay, but still if the parents, most of the parents of these families, especially scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and Muslim families, most of them will be from very poor family, isn't it? So they will teach their children in their nearby school, and if the school is far away from their home, they will not be ready to send their girls to far off places, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so the first reason, children, can you underline it on the textbook? Page number 62, last paragraph. There are several reasons why children from Dalit, Adivasi and Muslim communities leave school.
Can you say which paragraph?
Last one. Okay, the first reason, there may not be, underline that, proper school nor teachers who teach on a regular basis. That is the reason why girls from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, they were dropping their school at very young age. Okay, and even if they wanted to continue their further education, sometimes schools are often far away from their home. Okay, so there may not be proper transport facilities, so they needed to depend on vans or buses. So the parents are not willing to send their girls to the school. So that is also another reason. If the school is far away from their home, parents are not ready or they are not willing to send their girls to far off places. That is one of the another reason why girls from Adivasi and Muslim communities, they leave their school at their young age.
Remember government schools, the cost is free for scheduled.
No, I don't think the conveyance fees is free for them. Only the cost of education only free, I think.
Okay, ma'am.
Uniform, books, everything, indeed even food that is free for them, but conveyance fee, they need to pay, I think. Yes. Yes. And at this time, the school has reopened, but still the government is not providing any conveyance for them. So the parents are, I think, they were sending the school by themselves. Okay, and we know that many of these families, they are very poor and unable to bear the cost of educating all their kids. Okay, so mostly whom do they prefer? Boys. Okay, because you know, girls after their primary or their secondary education, they will get to marry. So they will prefer only for the boys' education in their family because they need to take care of the parents and their family after them. So they will consider or they will give preference only to the education of the boys. That is another reason.
I can say the page number for underlining. The first one.
62.
Okay, then many children face discrimination. Do you remember about Om Prakash Vatmiki?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Om Prakash Valmiki.
Yes, he was from a Dalit boy. Okay, Dalit family. And you know, children, when he attended the school, he was discriminated by even by the teachers, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the children from these scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, even if they attended the school, they often face discrimination from their classmates and from even by their teachers. Okay, so most of the girls or most of the children from these families, they will not ready to attend the school. So these are the reason why children from the Dalit and Adivasi, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, and also from Muslim communities, they were leaving their school at their young age. Okay, the first reason, what was the first reason?
In rural and poor areas, there are no proper schools or teachers.
Yes. Okay, there not be proper school or proper teachers to teach them on a regular basis, especially in rural and village areas. Okay, and yeah, the second reason. Nia?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
Many children face discrimination from their classmates and surroundings.
Yes. Even if they attended the school, like Om Prakash Vatmiki, many of them were discriminated by their teachers and even by their classmate. Devika.
Schools are often far away from people's home and there is no transport like buses available for the girls. So parents are not willing to send their girls to school.
Girls to far off places. Okay, even if the schools are not near to their home, they need to depend on buses or vans. So that time they were not ready. Okay, most of the parents, they were not willing to send their girls, especially the girls. Okay, they were not ready to send their girls to far off places. Ashish, the fourth reason.
Ma'am, many families are too poor and unable to bear the cost of education all their children.
Yes. Okay. So many of these families, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, they are very poor. So with their limited income, they have to manage the education of all their children. So it would be very difficult for them to manage. So in that situation, they would prefer only the boys education. Okay, because girls, they will get to marry after their education. Boys, they need boys because they need to be educated, because they are the one who wanted to take care of their parents, their family. Okay, and so they want to get a good job after that. Okay, so they will prefer boys education. Okay, Hiba, what is census? Hiba, Fatima, what is census? Ismail? Ismail?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What is census? Okay, Zaiba.
Ma'am, every 10 years, they will come and check how many members are.
Every 10 years. Yeah. An official survey. Okay, it is a survey which counts the whole population of the country. Kanesh, can you repeat?
Census is a 10-year program which counts the whole Indian community, which they check their age,
schooling, education, I mean schooling, then job, caste. Okay, yes. Okay, and from these census, what we could understand about the woman's education, Aldous?
Ma'am, most of the parents are not willing to send their girls.
Especially
Like,
from which all communities?
Ma'am, SC, ST, and some Muslim communities.
Okay, see children, census. Today, almost all parents are ready to send their kids to school. Okay, but when we count the informations that is from that we obtain from the census, every 10 years, the government is counting the whole population, the number of people who live in our country. So from this census, we could understand that children from scheduled caste, scheduled tribes like SC and ST, okay, Dalit and Adivasi, and also Muslim, okay, Muslim communities. Most of the children from these old families, they were leaving from the school at the young age. Okay, so the reason we have seen that no proper school, no proper teachers, and the schools, even if it is far away from their place, they won't be ready to send their kids to school. Then they were very poor. Most of them are very poor. It could not be possible. Okay, it was not possible for them to afford within their limited income. And also, even if they attended, most of them were discriminated. Okay, so these are the reason why these people dropping out from the school. We will just see the census. That means the information or the percentage of children who is leaving from the school. It will, we've discussed it on the next class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.